Well, good Monday morning. Welcome to the WLBB Community Voice Program. Our show brought to you by Tanner Health System. It is Monday. I know you're expecting Steve Graddick, so hopefully you won't turn away because you're stuck with me, Colin Worthington, this morning. We are on News Talk 1330, FM 106.3, and streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. And this morning, we're on Facebook Live. You can see our guest sitting here, and we'll introduce you to him in just a second. But first, let us give away $100. Time for Graddick Communications' daily random Christmas trivia question. If you listen carefully, you may win $100 and up to $1,000. Now, our question for today is, we're really just giving away $100 today with this question, but how many ghosts appear in the Charles Dickens A Christmas Carol? Visit our website, newstalk1330.com, if you know the answer. Click on the random Christmas trivia banner, enter your name, email, phone, and, of course, your answer. One entry from the correct answers of the whole 12-day period we picked at random. We picked today. The correct answers we picked at random today. You'll win $100 cash. And then on December 15th, one of our 12 daily winners, along with a 13th winner selected at random that morning, will have a chance to turn that $100 into $1,000 at a live remote broadcast at Mike Bell Chevrolet. Again, the question today, how many ghosts appear in the Charles Dickens A Christmas Carol? I don't know if we're getting a phone call with an answer there, but visit our website, newstalk1330.com, if that's the case. Now, our guest, as you see this morning, he was named the president of West Georgia Technical College in April of this year. Dr. Scott Rule joining us. Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Colin. Thank you very much.
And do appreciate you coming out. Have you been on the show? Were you on the show once with Steve?
I have not been here before.
No. Okay, first time.
First time.
Well, great. We do appreciate you coming out. Primarily this morning, going to talk about the big news. You guys put out a press release about a week ago. I want to say it was the Friday before vacation, before Thanksgiving.
Really excited about that.
And turns out, big bunch of property that's been vacant for about 8 years. You guys intend to build a new campus on there, Carroll campus for West Georgia Technical College.
Absolutely thrilled to have that property. Thrilled to know that we're getting a new campus. I think a lot of people who are familiar with our area and our campus especially are looking forward to a new facility that's not 50 years old. And going into the Buffalo Creek Technology Park is exciting because it's brand new property. It's been developed, as you know, for a number of years. So we will be what I'm going to call as the anchor tenant in that space. The Development Authority has donated that property to us. Only 40 acres of it. There's over 100 acres in that space. We'll be the first ones going in. Build a whole new campus. All the programs we currently have will be moving over to that property.
I think the comment about the current campus is landlocked. There was nowhere else to build
correct.
Anything else out on. Will that affect Haralson County's property at all, Haralson County's building, or the offices in downtown Carrollton?
Right. It will not affect Haralson's property at all. Matter of fact, one of the key factors that we're looking for is that we didn't want to relocate too far from where we currently are in the Carroll campus. So it's only 4 miles away. So the dynamics for all our students traveling from campus to campus shouldn't change that drastically. So we're really thrilled about that. But the central office where currently the administration is, we're going to shift administration to the new property. We still are thinking about what we're going to be doing with the property at on the square. But right now we have adult education, economic development, short-term training. We got other opportunities that we can use that space for. So we're not going to vacate that unless we have other ideas come up.
There's 120 programs available?
College-wide, yes.
College-wide.
Yeah.
Oh, for the whole system?
Correct, for all 5 of our campuses.
Okay, for all 5. Yeah. Okay. How many are online?
That's a very good question. I don't know how many of them
are. I'm imagining a good portion of those are available online as well.
Correct. We offer online courses on just about all of our programs, but some of our programs like welding and cosmetology, you have to have something on, in hand. So you can't do those exclusively online. So I don't know which programs are exclusively online where you can take everything at home or at work or wherever you can take classes on a computer. But just about every program has an online component.
What's the process for the next step, I guess, as far as making this happen? I mean, could work begin by the end of next year?
Sure, there are a number of steps that we're going through right now. Matter of fact, just tomorrow, we're working with the 5 finalists on the design firms, the architects who are going to be laying out the new campus for us. We're interviewing those 5 firms tomorrow to find out which one we want to actually design our new campus. So that's the first step. Next, we're going to be looking for the contract or construction management team. And then finally, we're going to be looking for funding for next year. We have the design funds in hand for this year, and that'll continue through June 30 next year and even further on. but we're hoping during the legislative session with our senators and representatives' support to get up nearly $50 million allocation in next year's budget for construction.
And we expect that will happen, but it does need to go
Absolutely.
through that process.
It
How
has
about
to go through the process.
our local legislators? Are they showing support?
100%
Push
support,
that.
nothing but support.
I
They
would say
definitely see this
we
need.
do have at least one guy who's got some pull over there.
At least one guy. We've got a number of guys out there, but I think you're referring to Mike Dugan. Senator Dugan has been wonderful, big supporter of the college. Representative Randy Nix, Matt Brass. I mean, you name it. You can name all of our representatives and senators, and they've just been fantastic, backing us up and supporting us.
As far as the classes that will be available, or classes that may have more classroom space, or I guess maybe talk about some classes that will be more affected when that change
And that's
comes.
one thing that we desperately needed. As you said, we were landlocked, but it's not just landlocked in our current facility. It's really the space that we have right now. One example I'd like to share with the folks is our diesel technology. It's heavy equipment. We're talking about tractors, very heavy piece of machinery here, and we teach that at our current campus. But right now, the labs for that is on the second floor. So you try to put a piece of heavy equipment on the second floor, and you're going to wind up on the first floor. We can't let that happen. So all of our equipment currently is outside. So the new campus will have a design built for diesel equipment, heavy machinery. So looking at different spaces along those lines, we've got machine tool, we've got all sorts of different equipment, high-tech equipment. We just got more machines in, and they're cramped in this current space. So we're looking for expanding that footprint. The current campus, total number of building square footage is about 100,000 square feet. The new campus, already the design is targeting 160,000 square feet for the same programs going in that space. So we're also looking for expanding additional programs and hopefully get that 160,000 even larger. But that's what the $50 million is going to be targeting, is 160,000 square feet to expand our current programs to where they need to be versus where we're having to work with them now.
Will there be availability for new programs?
Yes, absolutely.
Because of that?
I'll say for the last 3 years, this is a long process trying to justify a new campus. I mean, this is a complete campus relocation and replacement, which is unusual for the technical college system of Georgia. So it hasn't happened very much before. Lanier Tech is just completing theirs and opening their doors right now. But we'll be basically the second college that's actually done this. So we're looking at, so that justification has been based on the current facility being landlocked, space limited, and 50 years old. Not necessarily for program enhancement. I have recently introduced that as a concept. We've heard from industry in the area, especially in the construction area. We need some programs in construction. Right now we have HVAC, we have electrical, but we don't have plumbing. We don't have construction management. We don't have those additional pieces of construction that we need to add. So I've added those to the conversation. Whether or not I'll get those is yet to be determined, but we're going to be adding it to the design and see what we can lay out.
When those businesses make those suggestions, do you see them somehow getting involved with the education or, communicating with potential students?
Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, one of the value added for technical colleges is that we have community involvement in all of our programs. We have program advisory committees. So we expect and rely on industry to keep us updated on what is needed at least once a semester. We actually have formal meetings with every single program, getting people from industry telling us, what's this curriculum look like? Does this meet your needs? So we ask those questions. And when we see a new program come in, we need to formulate a new committee.
So good to have those relationships, but on the same side, you guys have a good relationship with the University of West Georgia, as well as where you can allow credits to cross over some courses.
Sure do. And we can elaborate on that a long time with the University of West Georgia. Dr. Kyle Marrero, the president at University of West Georgia, has been nothing but supportive. His entire staff has been nothing but supportive with technical colleges, where our students definitely head to University of West Georgia once they complete an associate degree with us, or even if they don't. A lot of students come to us and they just want general core. They wanted to get their feet wet. They wanted to convince themselves and build their own confidence that they can do collegiate work. So they will take an algebra class with us, a literature class with us, a sociology, a psychology, a chemistry, a biology. All the classes that we teach is general core, and University of West Georgia will accept those credits and take that student right along and let them continue on to their bachelor's degree. So again, whether they start with us with a 2-year degree or just individual course credits, they can continue on. And that's been wonderful. Can I share with you one other aspect
Please,
of that?
Absolutely.
University of West Georgia has been also fantastic that when they have students who are not quite prepared for University of West Georgia when they apply, they don't turn those students away, People apply to universities all the time, and you see TV shows and movies where people get their rejection letter. University of West Georgia doesn't believe in that. They believe in helping a student out. So if they're not quite prepared, whether their grades were not that stellar in the past, or their SAT scores weren't where they need to be, they don't say, go away, you're not good enough for University of West Georgia. They say, go to West Georgia Technical College, get some of this general core like I was just talking about, and then come back to us after you get 20, 25, 30 hours of credits and convince yourself that you are prepared for college, and then we'll let you continue on here at University of West Georgia. What a wonderful message to our students.
Dr. Scott Ruhl is our guest on this morning's Community Voice Program, president of West Georgia Technical College. Before we go to our first break here, one more question about the new land that you guys, the new location where you plan to put the main campus for the Carrollton. Any talk about the athletics? Maybe 2 years ago there was talk about a football team, and we're looking for a place for a football field. Any potential for that on that?
Right,
that
excellent
land?
question. Just to cut right to the chase, no, not necessarily. Not for athletics. We have a limited budget that we're requesting right now, and it is targeted toward our programs. Our mission is workforce development. So we're trying to figure out, where does athletics fit? We want to make sure we have opportunities for our students to do something during the downtime or between classes. But really the target and ideas and design for the new campus will be focused on our programs.
Again, President of West Georgia Technical College, Dr. Scott Ruhl, our guest on this morning's Community Voice Program. It's 8:41. Questions and comments, feel free to give us a call at 678-601-8255, 678-601-TALK. Again, we're also on Facebook Live, so I'll take a peek at that page and see if you have questions or comments there for our guest as well. We'll take our first break, come back with more Community Voice, brought to you by Tanner Health System after this.
At Tanner, we're advancing health throughout West Georgia and East Alabama, because we know that exceptional care isn't based on how many patients we serve, but how well we serve them. That's why we're focused on quality, delivering the best possible care for our patients. It's why we're expanding our clinical services and building new facilities to serve our growing community. And it's why we're looking beyond our hospitals and medical practices to develop sustainable wellness and preventive health programs in our region. What makes a hospital great has changed. It's not how many beds we have. It's how well we care for the neighbors who need them. Delivering the right care to every patient, every time, is how Tanner is advancing health with medicine beyond measure. Learn more at tanner.org or find a physician on our medical staff by calling 770-214-CARE.
Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice Program. Our show brought to you by Tanner Health System, News Talk 1330, FM 106.3, also streaming live this morning on the News Talk 1330 Facebook page. I'm your host, Colin Worthington. Our guest is Dr. Scott Ruhl, president for West Georgia Technical College. Fall enrollment up this month, or up this semester anyway.
Certainly is.
Has that been steadily increasing each and every month?
It really has. We're real pleased with the enrollment because we are seeing something unusual for higher education right now. With enrollment in higher education, all colleges, whether it's 2-year or 4-year, you see an inverse relationship with the economy. So whenever the economy is doing poorly, people tend to want to go back to school and learn something new so that they could be more skilled and get a better job, or get a job at all. But now we see the economy improving, and yet we still see enrollment increasing. So as I said, that's kind of unusual for years. I've been in this business for over 25 years, and I've always seen that correlation, where when the economy goes down, enrollment goes up. When the economy goes up, the enrollment goes down. But we're now seeing enrollment continue to go up. So we're real pleased with at West Georgia Tech. We're up 7.7% this fall semester. We've started enrollment for spring. We don't know what the numbers are yet because that doesn't start until January. But as a matter of fact, I'll take this opportunity to encourage your listeners to look at West Georgia Tech or wherever they would like to go and enroll now. People tend to focus on the holidays right now and all the festivities and kind of ignore that spring, January, is the start of another semester. It's when you can actually start college. So if you haven't gotten on that path right now or didn't start this fall, look at us for spring. And classes start January 7th, and everything has to be in place, your application, financial aid, and whatever else. So now is a good time to be looking at that. Don't just enjoy all the holidays and ignore that, and last minute find yourself not able to start with us in January.
I do want to talk about financial aid in just a little bit, but you talked about you still see the numbers increasing, even though we have this perception that the economy is improving. Why do you think that is?
You know, I don't know, aside from a big factor that people are understanding what lifelong learning is all about now. It's not about wait for something critical to happen. You need to be prepared, and especially because of technology, and we are a technical college, but technology keeps changing. If you stop and slow down for too long, you're going to be left behind. So I think people are recognizing that they need that additional skill, whatever that skill happens to be. We also see people who want to change jobs because they were kind of bored in where they were before. They were perfectly skilled in what they were doing, but they're interested in something more. So we see them coming back. So there are all sorts of different reasons.
When we pick a course to teach or a class to focus on for the Carroll campus, is there a reason why you pick Carroll campus over Noonan campus, or whatever different campuses, or you focus that on?
Right. Oh, absolutely. We definitely look at the community and find out what is in that area. And we see a lot of manufacturing here in Carroll. And you'll see that out of our 5 campuses, the Carroll campus is the one that has the more hands-on technical courses. So we try to, and one thing that we're looking for to build in Carroll because of Tanner is our healthcare programs. We have a very light healthcare focus here in Carroll on our campus because we're space restricted. We're trying to look at this new opportunity to enhance that space for our health programs, so it'll be a little bit better and meet the need here in Carroll County. So if you look at each one of our other campuses, whether it's in Harrelson or Noonan, you'll see that EMT, for example, because the fire department is right next to the campus, or you've got the ambulance services in Harrelson County. So those type of things, we try to match the programs for the counties.
Nursing and maybe truck driving, I think, too, that I remember talking about over the last several years that really kind of boomed up. What else is up and coming that people are starting to take notice?
Right. Well, taking notice, healthcare is always a big one. People are always asking for that. And one of the challenges there, Colin, is that we have very few seats available. They're competitive programs, and based on the nursing board, you are only allowed to have a certain number of students per instructor and certain students in a clinical site. So that's the limitation. So we would love to teach more and more students. But when we go into a hospital, you have a bed to student ratio. If you have too many students or student nurses in a hospital, they don't have much to do. So the nursing board keeps us limited on what we're able to do.
Dr. Scott Roll is president of West Georgia Technical College, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. Time right now is 8:47. Going back to the, I can go back and forth here on the ideas that I'm getting, but we talk about that new campus. Will there be a place for the truck driver, for the trucks to drive there? Will that be enough room for you guys?
Absolutely, yes. If you're familiar with our current campus right now, the trucks are kind of cramped in their space.
I know when I see them out there, I'm like, well, just the effort to get it into that parking lot.
Correct.
Must be great on that.
And just trying to exit our parking lot, when you take that right-hand turn with the median in the middle of the road, that makes it very, very difficult. Luckily, the roundabout is there so that the trucks can actually manipulate it and turn around and get back to the bypass. But the new layout will have a true truck driving range with a straightaway and turnarounds with cement pads. Because those trucks, when you're trying to back up and turn around in small spaces, that's a lot of weight on asphalt, and it will rip up that asphalt. So we're designing that as a truck driving range, which will be able to stand up to that wear. So we're looking forward to that and have a nice circuit. And I'm sure it'll look more like a racetrack than anything else, but we're not encouraging that. It's going to be truck driving.
You have to lock it down overnight.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say over the last 2 decades, I probably had 10 friends who quit their job and went into pharmacy or into selling pharmaceuticals and things like that. And then, I was just amazed with how much they could potentially make and how much a lot of them did make. You guys are starting a pharmacy
tech
course, and that'll be at the Douglas campus.
It's at the Douglas campus right now, and we are offering a certificate program, but we are enhancing that. We received funds last year from the state for major renovation and repair, and we've renovated a lot of space to enhance our pharmacy tech program into an associate degree. So now it's going to be a full 2-year degree so that it does provide that person that additional step in the right direction to become a pharmacist with a 4-year degree once they move beyond West Georgia Tech.
Dr. Scott Roll, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. He's president of West Georgia Technical College. 10 minutes before 9 o'clock right now. We'll take our final break and come back and wrap up our program. But if you do have questions or comments, feel free to call at 678-601-8255. Or if you're watching us on Facebook Live, you can post your questions or comments there, and I'll take one last look at it during this break. Community Voice, brought to you by Tanner Health System here on News Talk 1330, FM 106.3.
At Tanner, we're advancing health throughout West Georgia and East Alabama because we know that exceptional care isn't based on how many patients we serve, but how well we serve them. That's why we're focused on quality, delivering the best possible care for our patients. It's why we're expanding our clinical services and building new facilities to serve our growing community. And it's why we're looking beyond our hospitals and medical practices to develop sustainable wellness and preventive health programs in our region. What makes is how Tanner is advancing health with medicine beyond measure. Learn more at tanner.org or find a physician on our medical staff by calling 770-214-CARE.
And welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice program, our final segment with Dr. Scott Rowley as president of West Georgia Technical College. How many schools, how many campuses?
We've got 5 full-service campuses and 2 additional instructional sites where we just offer courses.
And he was named president in April of this year, so almost a full year.
Almost.
How goes it?
We'll count it, yeah.
You're pretty content with the way things are going?
It's been a wonderful area, wonderful support, wonderful people at the college, whether it's faculty, staff, and our wonderful students. And I just can't thank everybody enough for being welcoming to me while I've been here, but it's not about me. It's about the college, and I see everybody's really committed to West Georgia Tech.
You get to travel to all campuses every week?
Absolutely do. That's what I look forward to, is actually visiting our campuses. Being at the Adamson Square location is wonderful, but I don't get to see faculty, staff, and students that often, so I do take advantage of every excuse I can to get out to the campuses.
One of our previous segments, I guess the first segment, I did talk a little bit about the financial aid necessary for a lot of students.
Absolutely.
And I guess talk about the process for, is it too late for them to get financial aid for the January class?
Right. No, it is not too late. Don't wait too much longer because it is a process. You do need to start with us to get an application submitted to the college. Make sure that you apply if you haven't done so yet. But then also there's another application for financial aid. It's called the FAFSA. It's the free application for federal student aid. Yes, it's easy for me to say, but it is the FAFSA, and that's the federal application that has to be submitted by every student who wants any type of financial aid, whether it's state financial aid or federal Pell or other federal student aid. But once you fill out the FAFSA, then the ball can start rolling. We'll take it from there. And there are a lot of opportunities because a lot of people are familiar with the HOPE scholarship, which the FAFSA triggers that, meaning once you get the FAFSA, then we can actually start looking at the HOPE opportunities for you as well. But the HOPE scholarship people are familiar with is the HOPE scholarship. That's for a 4-year program and our associate degree. But there's something that a lot of people don't understand is that there's a difference between a scholarship and a grant. And we have the HOPE grant at the technical colleges. It's for those certificates and diplomas, which are basically a lead-in for our associate degree. Most students start with a certificate or diploma with us. They don't go straight into the associate degree, mainly because of financial aid, because it's easier to qualify for the HOPE grant. Basically, you have to be a Georgia resident, and that's it. It really doesn't look at your GPA. It doesn't look at when you graduate from high school. It's basically if you're in a technical program and you are ready to go, you get the HOPE grant. And some of our other programs, or some of our technical programs like commercial truck driving, like some of our healthcare programs like welding, like HVAC, get something called the HOPE career grant. So most people know HOPE, but then you get these little adjectives to qualify what HOPE is. There's even more money available to you as a student. So look into that because the HOPE grant covers your tuition. The HOPE career grant covers more of your tuition and some of your fees. So it's a wonderful opportunity to look at in the state of Georgia here because of HOPE.
Is that something that, again, that people should apply for quick because there's only a certain amount of money that is given away? Or
we have not reached a limit on that money right now.
It just sounds too simple.
Exactly. No, the state legislature votes that in as additional revenue. As a matter of fact, a mid-year budget adjustment has been done over the last couple of years to make sure that money is still there for those students.
Those grants, is that part of the High Career Demand Initiative?
That's exactly what that is, right? That's what targets what is a HOPE career grant eligible is the HDCMI.
And what are I say, are there only a certain amount of courses that does cover? I mean, we talk about, truck driving or nursing are the ones that are in high demand.
Correct, right. But almost all of them are now covered. As I said, the legislature supports this and has been adding programs each year. So we're real thrilled about that. It used to be, I think it was like a dozen programs, and now it's over 100. So we're in really good shape with the HOPE program.
We've got about 5 minutes left in the program. Let's recap the big story that we're talking about here as we get into the month of December. And give us a timeline. We have a new campus. It's going to be just down the road here from us, just down the road from your current location. But what do you see as the timeline for everything happening over the next year?
Well, the timeline right now is to get through the first year with design and request for additional construction funds. Starting about September of next year, we're hoping we'll break ground. That construction will last 18 to 24 months, and then we'll have to equip the space, taking existing equipment from the current campus, purchasing new equipment, and really outfitting the new campus that it's state-of-the-art, stellar space to work and learn. And then January of 2022 is when I plan on opening the doors.
And as far as you talk about the plan to put the picture together of what it's going to look like, when do you expect to see that we can show to the public and see that?
Well, as I said, tomorrow we're interviewing our design firm finalists, and then they will be hired by mid-January, and then the design will start. We hope to have those designs, something to publish by July 1, because that's when we expect to have some funding for construction. So we have to have a design by then.
You see the anchor building at the Buffalo Creek Technology Park.
Absolutely.
You've heard word of other potential businesses coming out there?
Not yet, but I'm so pleased with the Development Authority giving us that property, and hopefully we will be able to return the favor to the Development Authority by being an attractive factor for other industry to come in and join us.
We think that would be beneficial to businesses, to certain businesses, to be set up that close to you guys.
Sure will. Yes.
All right, we've got about 3 minutes left in the program. You want to say hey to anybody or make sure you get any points out before we wrap out the program?
Goodness. Just the last point that I want to make sure that people know is that you don't have to wait to apply to West Georgia Technical College, not just for spring that I already mentioned, but while you're in high school. If you're interested in joining West Georgia Tech or University of West Georgia or any other higher education, check into the dual enrollment program where you can get credit one course at a time at the college level as well as high school credit.
Any discussion about potential for dorms?
No discussion with dorms. Now, I think that's a challenge that we all face with a two-year commuter non-residential college.
Because typically you're thinking the majority of these people are they're working, they're living elsewhere anyway, right?
Exactly.
I do remember it just being discussed. I mean, just bantied about. I don't know how serious it was, but that was several years ago. Well, Dr. Scott Roll, thanks for talking with us this morning, and definitely wish you guys best of luck with that. And I think we're all excited to see how that develops and how that goes. And I assume traffic will be a lot nicer on Noonan Road for us,
just
too,
might be, yes.
once that happens. Well, thanks for coming out this morning.
Thank you.
We do appreciate it. Got about 2 minutes left in the program, so let me go ahead and ask this trivia question one more time. You can visit our website at newstalk1330.com when you do have the answer. This is our daily random Christmas trivia question. Listen carefully. You may win $100 and up to $1,000. When you do know the answer, visit our website, newstalk1330.com. Click the random Christmas trivia banner. Enter your name, email, phone, and your answer. One entry from the correct answers will be picked at random daily. You could win $100 cash. Then on December the 15th, one of our 12 daily winners, along with a 13th winner selected at random that morning, will have a chance to turn that $100 into $1,000. We'll be doing a live remote broadcast at Mike Bell Chevrolet. Question for today: how many ghosts appear in the Charles Dickens classic A Christmas Carol? Again, visit our website, newstalk1330.com. Put that answer down. Again, thanks, Dr. Scott Roll, for coming on the program. Appreciate you listening. And who will be in tomorrow? I think we're talking Toys for Tots tomorrow. Lori Smith will be hosting the program tomorrow, so make sure you come back at 8:30. There'll be another trivia question tomorrow as well. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System here on News Talk 1330, FM 106.3. And if you missed any of the program, you can visit it on our website at newstalk1330.com or watch the entire video on our Facebook page, News Talk 1330. Have a great Monday, everybody.